The night Ada saw the stranger, the wind suddenly stopped. Even the crickets that usually sang around the village fell silent, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Ada felt a strange chill crawl down her back. But when she turned and saw the tall, handsome man standing beneath the moonlight, her fear slowly melted into curiosity. She did not know that the moment she looked into his eyes, her life had already begun to change. Ada lived in a small village called Umudara, a quiet place surrounded by thick forests and red dusty roads. The houses were simple mud huts with thatched roofs, and most people in the village survived by farming cassava, yam, and maize. But Ada hated that life. She hated waking up before sunrise to fetch water from the stream. She hated watching her mother struggle to cook small meals from almost nothing. Most of all, she hated the way poverty followed her like a shadow. While other girls her age laughed and played, Ada often sat alone, dreaming of a different life. She wanted silk wrappers instead of torn clothes. She wanted a big house instead of a leaking roof. She wanted servants, jewelry, and respect. And she wanted it quickly. Why must life be so hard? She often complained. Her mother would shake her head and say, "My daughter, patience brings blessings." But Ada did not believe in patience. She believed in opportunity. One evening, after a long and frustrating day in the farm, Ada decided to take a different path home through the forest. The sun had already begun to set, painting the sky with deep orange and purple colors. The forest path was quiet. Too quiet. Halfway through the path, Ada suddenly noticed someone standing ahead of her. A tall man dressed in fine white clothing. His skin looked smooth and almost glowing under the fading sunlight. His face was handsome in a way she had never seen before. He smiled calmly. "Good evening," he said. Ada stopped walking. She had never seen him before. "Who are you?" she asked cautiously. The man stepped closer. "My name is Obina," he replied softly. His voice was smooth and comforting. "I have been watching you." Ada frowned. "Watching me?" "Yes," he said. "You are different from the others in this village. You are ambitious. You want more from life." Ada's heart beat faster. No one had ever understood her like that. "Yes," she admitted slowly. "I want more." Obina smiled wider. "I can give you everything you desire." Ada blinked in surprise. "What do you mean?" "I can give you wealth," he said. "Gold, fine clothes, a beautiful house. You will never know poverty again." Ada's mouth fell open. It sounded too good to be true. "And what do you want in return?" she asked carefully. Obina's eyes darkened slightly. "Marriage," he replied. Ada was shocked. "Marriage?" "Yes. Become my wife, and everything you have ever dreamed of will become yours." Ada's mind began racing. A rich husband, a luxurious life, everything she had ever wanted. But something about the man felt strange. "Where do you come from?" she asked. Obina's smile did not fade. "From a place beyond this world." Ada felt a cold shiver. "What does that mean?" He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "I am not like the men of your village. I belong to the spirit world." Ada's heart skipped. She should have run. She should have screamed. But instead, she thought about wealth, about comfort, about escaping the life she hated. "What about children?" Ada asked suddenly. Obina nodded. "You will have many, strong and healthy." Ada hesitated. Then Obina added quietly, "There is only one condition." Ada narrowed her eyes. "What condition?" "The first child you give birth to will belong to the spirit world." Ada froze. For a moment, fear filled her heart. But then another thought came. That was years away. Maybe she could find a way to escape the deal later. Maybe he would forget. Maybe nothing would happen. Greed slowly swallowed her doubt. "Fine," Ada said quickly. "I accept." Obina smiled in satisfaction. The deal was sealed. The very next morning, Ada's life changed. Where her old hut once stood, a large and beautiful house now appeared. People in the village gasped in shock. Inside the house were expensive clothes, shining jewelry, and bags of gold coins. Ada became the richest woman in Umudara overnight. Villagers whispered in amazement. Where did she get this wealth? Did she marry a prince? Is it magic? Ada simply smiled proudly. Soon, Obina began visiting her every night. During the day, no one saw him, but every night, he appeared like a shadow. True to his promise, Ada lived in luxury. Years passed. Ada gave birth to 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. She loved them deeply, but with every passing year, a quiet fear began growing inside her heart. She remembered the deal, the spirit husband, the child, the firstborn child, Chidi. At first, she tried to ignore the thought. Maybe the spirit man had forgotten. Maybe it was only a joke. But deep inside, she knew the truth. Spirits never forget their agreements. One night, when Chidi turned 7 years old, Obina arrived earlier than usual. His face was serious. Ada, he said calmly, the time has come. Ada felt her stomach twist. What time? She whispered. You know what time, he replied. Her voice trembled. You can't mean Chidi? Obina nodded. The first child belongs to the spirit world. That was our agreement. Ada fell to her knees. No, he's just a child. Obina's voice became cold. You agreed willingly. I was young, she cried. You are greedy, he replied. Ada began sobbing. Please, take anything else. Take the gold, the house, everything. Obina shook his head slowly. A promise cannot be broken. Fear filled Ada's heart. That night, she decided she would do anything to save her son. The next day, Ada ran to the village priest. She told him everything. The deal, the spirit husband, the child. The priest's face turned pale. You made a terrible mistake, he said. Can you help me? Ada begged. He sighed deeply. There may be a way, but it will not be easy. He told her she must go to the sacred forest and beg forgiveness from the ancestors. She must confess her greed and offer a sacrifice of humility. Ada agreed immediately. That night, she went deep into the forest carrying food, kola nuts, and palm wine. She knelt before the ancient shrine and cried. I was blinded by greed, she sobbed. I did not think about the price. Please, forgive me. The wind began to blow violently. The trees shook. A deep voice echoed through the forest. Every blessing has a rule. Ada trembled. Some rules cannot be broken. Then what can I do? She cried desperately. The voice answered slowly. To save your child, you must give up everything the spirit gave you. Ada froze. Everything? The house, the gold, the luxury, her entire life of comfort? She hesitated, but then she thought of Chidi's smiling face. Her heart made its choice. I accept, she whispered. The next morning, Ada's mansion disappeared. The gold vanished. Her beautiful clothes turned into simple cloth again. Within hours, she became poor once more. Villagers watched in shock as her riches faded away like smoke. But Ada did not complain. She held her children tightly and returned to a small hut. That night, Obina appeared again, but this time his expression had changed. You have given up everything, he said. Ada nodded. My son is worth more than wealth. For a long moment, the spirit man was silent. Then he slowly smiled. You have finally learned. With a flash of light, he disappeared forever, and he never came back for the child. Life became difficult again. Ada returned to farming and hard work, but something inside her had changed. She no longer dreamed of quick riches. She valued her children more than gold. Years later, she often told her story to young people in the village. She would say, greed makes promises look small and rewards look big. But every gift has a hidden price, and some prices are too great to pay.